Hey YouTube, Jason here with Day Trading Fearless. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And as always, make sure you check out my website, daytradingfearless.com, where you could sign up for $50 for the S&P E-mini weekly trade zones, and also check out my Patreon page where you can follow along with my portfolio for stock dividend stocks and options. So as always, let's jump right into it. So in today's video, we're going to talk about how to identify trading patterns, okay? And what we're going to look for in this is head and shoulders and inverse head and shoulders. I'm really going to specialize in just those two in this one video. Now, one of the keys to becoming a really good trader is screen time, looking at charts over and over and over, and just trying to really identify a head and shoulders or any type of pattern. But essentially, a head and shoulders is going to look something like this, where price rallies, okay? We then pull back, okay? And this would be your right shoulder. This up here is the start of your neckline. Then you have the pullback, which will become your head. That goes all the way back up to the neckline. And then you would pull back usually right around here. Okay. And this is a inverse head and shoulders, not a head and shoulders. A head and shoulders would essentially look like this, where it's kind of pullback, breakout, right? Pullback, and then breakout, right? And this is a head and shoulders. This is a inverse head and shoulders. So if you think about it, we have the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder, and this would be your neckline. On the opposite, you have your neckline here, you have your left shoulder, your head, and your right shoulder right here. Okay, so with these type of patterns, what they are is inverse head and shoulders right here is a bullish pattern, okay, to where you want to see price break out and go to the upside, and a head and shoulders pattern is a failure to the downside. Now, these patterns work maybe 50, 60, 70% of the time. It just depends what's going on in the market. So just kind of be aware that just because you see a head and shoulders, you also have to be very aware of what's happening in the overall market or with your stock or something like that. So with that being said, let's kind of come over here and see if we could find some inverse head and shoulders, okay? We'll start with the inverse side first, okay? And as we could see, we see price fall, rally, right? It's kind of like, here's the rally here, okay? So this would be our right shoulder, or our left shoulder. Here's our neckline. We make a new low, right? So you sell off, make a high, make a lower low from this low. You rally back up, usually right around to that level, okay, of the neckline. And then you pull back, but you never breach below this low. Okay, and then price rallies. Now, this was a failed head and inverse head and shoulders. It just never went. And also, this is what I would call a slanted head and shoulders, okay? Remember, they could be this way, they could be slanted multiple different ways, okay? So with that being said, where would your target be to the upside? If you took this right here, well, you know your stop would be below here, but where is your target? Well, normally you want to take from the neckline to the head, okay, and project above, right? So I'll grab my Fibonacci extension. I'll go from this high to this low to this high, okay? Because this is kind of the neckline, and then I'll bring it all the way back down, okay? And this 200 level is our ultimate target. All you're doing is you're taking this and you're flipping it over, and that is your ultimate target. As you can see, we failed here, so that trade did not work out. Okay, now let's erase this, and now let's look for a head and shoulders. Okay, let's kind of zoom back and let's zoom in here. So think about this. You have on the bigger picture, right? We rally here, right? Think of this. We rally, pull back, okay? Make a high, pull back to the neckline, rally, make the right shoulder, right? So let's kind of draw this so we could see this, right? So we rally, make the shoulder, here's our neckline, okay? Pull back all the way back to our neckline, and then we rally here. And as you could see, we don't breach above the head, right? So once you make a high, pull back, a higher high, okay, you'll then get a pullback back to the neckline from the head all the way down, and then we'll bounce to create the right shoulder. And a lot of times the right shoulder will match up with the left shoulder, right? So it looks very symmetrical. So here's our head, or our shoulder, head, shoulder. Now the pullback wasn't deep, but we're going to go off here because this and this match up, right? And as you can see, we kind of start to fail, bounce, but then we fail this head and shoulders, right? Well, if we sit there and we grab our Fibonacci extension, let's say you entered a short below this neckline, right here, you got short here, anticipating the head and shoulders, your stop would be up here. But if we draw from that high to this low, right? And then all the way back up to the high of the head, well, look at this, our 100% move, we came right down to it, and then we bounced, okay? Again, we're just measuring from the head to the neckline, and we just duplicate that and bring this back down, and that is the ultimate target. Okay, now I like to look at the 127.2%, the 1618, and the 200. Maybe you could start to take some off here, take some more off here, and then your ultimate here. If we come here and we come all the way back and we break above probably this swing high, kill the trade, walk away from it. It's no longer more than likely going to work because we're in the downtrend. Well, once we break above, we're now in an uptrend and we can maybe go up to retest that high. Okay, watch my video on how to trade the trend, and I actually explain this of how to look for the trend and things like that. So if you see this, a high, a low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, hit the target, and now we kind of start an uptrend, a low, a high, a higher low, right? This low never breached that low, and then we made a higher high, higher low, higher high, and so on. Okay, so that is how you could trade both the head and shoulders and the inverse head and shoulders. I hope this video has helped you guys kind of be able to really understand how to identify these patterns, and they could really, really help you in your own trading when you tie along with what's going on in the market and also what's going on with the overall trend with that too. So make sure you guys like and subscribe, leave any comments down below. And as always, thank you for watching. And until next time, we'll talk to you soon.